The Blacksmith's Forge. Daniel sat in his corner office on the 44th floor, reviewing contracts for the merger his law firm was handling. Words blurred together: whereas, therefore, notwithstanding. He had been a corporate lawyer for 19 years. Every day was the same: contracts, negotiations, billable hours. He was 45 years old, senior partner at a major firm, impressive salary, respected reputation, everything his parents had hoped for when he went to law school, everything that was slowly killing his spirit. His body reflected the stress: chronic back pain from sitting at desk, headaches from screen time, high blood pressure. His doctor had warned him to reduce stress or face serious health consequences. But how could he reduce stress when his entire career was stress? That Friday evening, Daniel left the office exhausted as always. He walked through the city without direction, needing to move, to be anywhere but trapped in his office or his apartment. The autumn air was crisp, leaves turning gold and red. He envied them. They knew how to let go, how to transform. He found himself in an older neighborhood he rarely visited, industrial buildings being converted to studios and shops. In one open garage door, he saw something that made him stop completely: a blacksmith's forge. Orange coals glowing in darkness. A man striking red-hot steel with hammer, sparks flying with each blow. The rhythmic ring of metal on metal echoed into the street. The smell of hot iron and coal smoke drifted out. Daniel stood watching, mesmerized. The blacksmith worked with focused intensity, heating steel in forge until it glowed orange, then shaping it on anvil with precise hammer strikes. He was making something. Daniel couldn't tell what, but the process itself was hypnotic. The blacksmith noticed Daniel watching. He held up the piece he was working on, a long taper that would become knife blade. "Making a chef's knife," he called over the hammer's ring. "Custom order." "That's amazing," Daniel said, meaning it completely. "Come closer if you want to watch," the blacksmith invited. "Just stay clear of the sparks." Daniel entered the forge. Heat radiated from the coal fire. Tools hung on walls, hammers of various sizes, tongs, files, chisels. The anvil was scarred from years of use. Everything was functional, used, real. The blacksmith introduced himself as Thomas. He was perhaps 60, with strong forearms and burn scars on his hands. He explained he'd been blacksmithing for 35 years, had apprenticed under an old-timer who taught him traditional techniques. "Not many blacksmiths left," Thomas said, returning the knife blade to the fire. "Everything's mass-produced now, but some people still want hand-forged tools, things made the old way with skill and care." He pulled the blade from the fire, now glowing bright orange. He laid it on the anvil and struck it with hammer, shaping the steel with powerful, precise blows. The metal moved under the hammer, gradually taking the form Thomas intended. "Steel is amazing material," Thomas explained between strikes. "When it's hot enough, it's soft, workable. But when you cool it right, it becomes incredibly hard and strong. You transform it through heat and force and knowledge." Daniel watched for an hour, completely absorbed. He had never seen anything so direct, so physical, so real. Thomas was creating something useful and beautiful with fire and metal and his own strength. No abstractions, no meetings, no billable hours, just making. When Daniel finally left, Thomas gave him a business card. "I teach beginner blacksmithing classes if you're interested. Next one starts in 2 weeks." Daniel took the card, thanked him, and walked home in a daze. He couldn't stop thinking about the forge, the glowing steel, the hammer's rhythm, the direct creation of something real. It felt like answer to question he hadn't known how to ask. That weekend, Daniel researched blacksmithing obsessively. He watched videos of blacksmiths working, read about the history of the craft, learned about different techniques and tools. He felt excitement he hadn't felt in years. Monday morning, sitting at his desk reviewing another contract, Daniel made a decision. He would take Thomas's class. He would learn to work with steel and fire. He didn't know why this called to him so strongly, but the pull was undeniable. He needed to make something real with his hands. He needed to work with material that had weight and resistance. He needed heat and hammer and the honest satisfaction of shaping metal into useful forms.
The blacksmithing class met Saturday mornings in Thomas's forge. 6 students gathered, diverse in age and background, but united by curiosity about this ancient craft. Thomas welcomed them, then explained basic safety rules around forge and hammers. "Blacksmithing is one of humanity's oldest crafts," Thomas began. "For thousands of years, every village needed a blacksmith. They made tools, horseshoes, nails, weapons, gates, anything metal. The craft built civilization. When you learn to forge, you connect with that lineage." He demonstrated basic technique, heating steel in forge until it glowed orange-red, removing it with tongs, placing it on anvil, striking it with hammer to shape it. The movements looked simple but required precision and strength. "Today, you'll make a simple hook," Thomas said. "Basic project, but it teaches fundamental skills: heating, striking, bending, finishing. By end of class, you'll have made something useful with your own hands." Daniel's turn came. Thomas helped him select piece of steel, half-inch square stock about 8 inches long. Daniel held it with tongs, pushed it into the coal fire. The steel began heating, gradually changing color from black to red to orange. "When it's bright orange, almost yellow, it's ready," Thomas instructed. "That's welding heat, about 2,000 degrees. Pull it out and work quickly before it cools." The steel reached temperature, glowing brilliantly. Daniel pulled it from fire, laid it on anvil as Thomas had shown. He raised the hammer, brought it down. The impact sent vibrations through his arm. The steel yielded slightly, changing shape under the blow. "Again," Thomas encouraged, "steady rhythm. Let the hammer's weight do the work. You guide it." Daniel struck again and again, falling into rhythm. Ring, ring, ring. The anvil sang with each blow. The steel gradually thinned and lengthened under his hammer. He was shaping metal through force and heat. His force, his strikes, his effort. When the steel cooled and darkened, Thomas showed him how to return it to fire, how to reheat to working temperature, how to continue shaping. The process required constant cycling: heat, strike, cool, reheat,
patient, steady work. By class end, Daniel had created a simple hook, bent at right angle, finished reasonably smooth. It wasn't perfect, showed hammer marks and irregularities, but he had made it. From straight steel stock to functional hook through his own work. He held it in his hands, feeling its weight, its solidity. This was real. This existed in the world because he made it. Not analyzed it, not advised about it, made it. His hands were blistered, his arms ached from swinging hammer, his face was dirty from forge smoke. He had never felt better. "Good first piece," Thomas said, examining the hook. "You have good rhythm, good control. Keep practicing and you'll develop real skill." Daniel signed up for Thomas's ongoing weekly classes. Every Saturday, he would leave his law practice behind and go to the forge. 4 hours of heating steel and swinging hammers, of making things with fire and metal and his own strength. His friends thought he was having midlife crisis. Blacksmithing? That's medieval. Why not golf like normal lawyers? But Daniel didn't care. This wasn't crisis. This was discovery. He had found something that engaged him completely, body and mind unified in physical work. Over following months, Daniel's skill developed. He made hooks and stakes, tongs and chisels, simple tools and decorative pieces. Each project taught him more about steel, about heat, about the craft. But more than skill, he was learning about himself, the patience required for blacksmithing, waiting for steel to heat properly, taking time to shape it right, accepting that rushing ruined work. The presence demanded. You couldn't forge while thinking about something else, or you'd get burned or strike poorly. The physicality of the work transformed Daniel's relationship with his body. Years of sitting at desks had left him weak and disconnected from physical strength. Swinging hammers, working steel, managing heavy tools, all of this rebuilt his body and his confidence in it. The heat of the forge became meditation for Daniel, standing before glowing coals, watching steel transform from cold black to brilliant orange, feeling the radiant warmth on his face. Time slowed, thoughts quieted. Only this steel, this heat, this moment. After 6 months of weekly practice, Daniel realized he was happier on Saturday mornings at the forge than during any other part of his week. 4 hours of blacksmithing brought more satisfaction than 40 hours of law practice. This troubled him. He had built his entire adult life around law career. He had invested nearly 20 years, had worked so hard to make partner, had achieved what he was supposed to want. How could he throw all that away? But every Saturday at the forge, the answer became clearer. He could throw it away because it wasn't serving him anymore. Success that made you miserable wasn't success, it was prison. Real success would be doing work that engaged and fulfilled you, even if it paid less and impressed fewer people. Daniel began thinking seriously about leaving law to pursue blacksmithing full-time. It seemed crazy, giving up 6-figure income to work with hands in a forge, but staying in law felt crazier. He was dying slowly in his corner office, one contract at a time.
Daniel approached Thomas with a proposal. "I want to learn seriously," he said, "not just hobby level. I want to become real blacksmith. Would you take me as apprentice?" Thomas studied him carefully. Apprenticeship is serious commitment.
You'd work here full-time, 40 hours a week minimum, learning everything I know. I can't pay much, just a small stipend. Most apprentices have other income or savings. Can you manage that?" Daniel had savings from years of high legal salary. He could afford to live modestly for a year or two without income. The question was whether he could afford to not try. Could he live with himself if he never pursued this calling? "I can manage," Daniel said. "I'll give notice at my firm. I want to do this properly." Thomas nodded slowly. "All right, if you're serious, I'll teach you. But understand, this is hard work, physically demanding, hot in summer, cold in winter, dirty and dangerous, not romantic or easy. Still interested?" "More than ever," Daniel confirmed. Giving notice at his law firm was surreal. His partners thought he was insane. You're walking away from a career you built for 20 years to be a blacksmith? What about your retirement, your reputation, your future? But Daniel was certain this was his future, not law contracts, but forge work, not billable hours, but hammer hours, not abstract legal arguments, but concrete metal shaping. He had found his calling, and he would follow it. His last day as lawyer arrived. He packed his few personal items, said brief goodbyes, and walked out of the office building. He felt lighter with each step. A weight he'd carried for 2 decades was lifting. He was free. The next Monday, Daniel began his apprenticeship. Thomas set clear expectations. "You'll start by learning fundamental skills thoroughly. We'll do the same exercises repeatedly until they're second nature. Boring sometimes, but necessary. Mastery comes from repetition." They started with drawing out, elongating steel by hammering. Daniel spent weeks just practicing this basic technique, working steel from thick to thin, learning to control the taper, developing consistent hammer blows. Then they practiced upsetting, making steel thicker by compressing it, another basic but essential skill. Then bending, twisting, punching holes, cutting, each fundamental technique practiced until Daniel could execute it without thinking. The work was hard. 8 hours daily at the forge, swinging hammers, managing heat, learning by doing. Daniel's hands developed calluses, his arms grew stronger, his back muscles adapted to the work, his body transformed. But so did his mind. The constant problem-solving of blacksmithing, how to achieve desired form, which techniques to use, how to manage heat properly. Every piece was a puzzle to solve through knowledge and creativity. Thomas taught not just technique, but wisdom about the craft. "Steel wants to be certain shapes," he explained. "Your job is discovering what it wants, then helping it get there. You're not fighting the material, but working with it." This resonated with Daniel. In law, he'd often felt like he was fighting opposing counsel, fighting unreasonable clients, fighting his own exhaustion. But blacksmithing was cooperation. The steel had properties and preferences. Success came from understanding and working with them. He learned about different types of steel: mild steel for general work, high carbon steel for tools and blades, stainless steel for decorative pieces. Each had different characteristics, required different treatment. Good blacksmiths knew their materials intimately. He learned about heat treatment, how to harden steel through heating and rapid cooling, how to temper it to reduce brittleness, how to anneal it to make it workable again, the science and art of steel transformation. He learned about design, how form follows function in good tools, how aesthetics and utility can unite, how traditional patterns evolved because they worked, not arbitrary decoration, but meaningful design. After first year of apprenticeship, Daniel had developed solid foundational skills. He could forge basic tools and hardware competently. He understood steel and heat and technique. He was becoming a real blacksmith. But Thomas pushed him further. You have the basics now. Time to develop your own work, find your own style. What calls to you? What do you want to make? Daniel had been thinking about this. He was drawn to blades, knives, axes, tools with edges. Something about the combination of beauty and function in a well-made blade appealed to him deeply. I want to make knives, kitchen knives, outdoor knives, working tools, things people use daily that need to perform well, that benefit from being hand-forged. Thomas nodded approval. Good choice. Blade making is a demanding craft within blacksmithing, requires precision, patience, understanding of steel and heat treatment. I'll teach you what I know. They began intensive blade-making education. Thomas showed Daniel how to forge blade shapes, how to grind bevels, how to heat treat for proper hardness, how to handle and finish. Each step required care and skill. Daniel's first knives were crude, uneven bevels, imperfect heat treatment, rough finishes. But Thomas was patient. Every master bladesmith made terrible knives at first. Keep practicing. Each one teaches you something. Daniel practiced obsessively. Nights and weekends beyond his apprenticeship hours, he would forge blades, learning from each mistake, gradually improving. His 100th knife was dramatically better than his first. As his second year of apprenticeship concluded, Thomas evaluated his progress. You're ready to work independently now. You have skills, knowledge, and understanding. Time to set up your own forge, start your own practice. This was both exciting and terrifying. Daniel would be on his own, responsible for his own success or failure. Could he actually make a living as a blacksmith? Or would he run out of money and have to return to law? But he had to try. He had come this far, invested 2 years and all his courage. He would give himself 3 more years to make it work. If blacksmithing couldn't sustain him by then, he would reconsider. But he had to know he'd given it full effort. Daniel found workshop space in the same industrial area as Thomas's forge. Former garage that needed work but had good ventilation and solid floor. He bought used equipment, anvil, forge, hammers, tongs. He set up modest but functional workspace. His first months were lean. He had few customers, little reputation, no established market. He made pieces on speculation, knives mostly, hoping they would sell. He set up booth at local farmers market, displayed his work, hoped for interest. Slowly, customers appeared. Someone bought a paring knife, loved it, recommended him to friends. A chef tried one of his kitchen knives, commissioned full set. An outsman wanted custom hunting knife, came back for more. Daniel priced his work carefully. Hand-forged knives took many hours to make properly. He had to charge enough to sustain himself, but not so much that no one would buy. Finding that balance was challenging. He also taught occasional workshops to supplement income, beginner blacksmithing classes like the one where he'd started. People were hungry for connection with making, for working with hands, for learning traditional craft. Teaching provided steady income while he built his blade-making business. One student in his workshop was a woman named Sarah, who was 39, burned out from teaching career, seeking something more tactile and creative. She took to blacksmithing immediately, showed natural aptitude and deep engagement. "This is what I've been missing," Sarah told Daniel. "Working with my hands, making something real, the directness of it. My teaching feels so abstract by comparison, words and concepts, but nothing physical." Daniel recognized himself in her. He encouraged her to pursue it seriously if it called to her, offered to mentor her the way Thomas had mentored him. She became his first apprentice, learning eagerly, developing quickly. Having an apprentice was rewarding in unexpected ways. Teaching forced Daniel to articulate his understanding, to think through his processes, to become more conscious about his craft. Explaining to Sarah why certain techniques worked deepened his own knowledge. As his third year of independent practice approached, Daniel evaluated his progress. He was supporting himself entirely from blacksmithing, a combination of knife sales, tool making, and teaching. Not wealthy, but sustainable. He could continue indefinitely at this level. More importantly, he was fulfilled. He loved going to work each day, loved heating steel and shaping it, loved seeing finished knives go to people who would use and value them. The satisfaction was profound and constant.
His knives had developed reputation. People sought them out specifically, willing to wait months for custom orders. Chefs and outdoorsmen valued the quality of hand-forged blades, the superior edge holding, the balanced feel, the attention to detail only handwork could achieve. One chef who used Daniel's knives in his Michelin-starred restaurant told him, "Your knives perform better than any factory-made ones I've used. The steel is superior, the edge is incredible, the balance is perfect. But more than performance, there's something about using tool made by someone's hands. I feel connected to the craftsperson, to the lineage of knife makers. It makes cooking more meaningful." Comments like this validated Daniel's choice. He wasn't just making products, he was creating tools that enhanced people's work and lives, that connected them to tradition and craft, that brought meaning to daily tasks. He also collaborated with other craftspeople. A woodworker who made handles for his knives, a leather worker who created sheaths. They supported each other's businesses and created better products through collaboration than any could alone. This community of makers was Daniel's people now, not lawyers in expensive suits discussing billable hours, craftspeople in work clothes discussing techniques and tools and materials, people who made things with their hands, who valued quality over quantity, who found meaning in their work. As Daniel moved into his 5th year as independent blacksmith, he began pursuing more ambitious projects. Not just knives, though he continued making those, but larger forged pieces, gates, railings, sculptures, installations. He collaborated with architects who valued hand-forged metalwork in their buildings. He created custom gates for homes and businesses. He made sculptural pieces for gardens and public spaces. One commission was particularly significant, a set of gates for a botanical garden featuring forged plants and insects. The project required combining technical skill with artistic vision, creating something both functional and beautiful. Daniel spent 6 months on the gates, forging hundreds of individual leaves and flowers and butterflies, assembling them into overall composition, finishing everything to perfection. It was the most challenging work he'd ever attempted. When installed, the gates were stunning. Delicate forged flowers and leaves seemed to grow from iron. Butterflies appeared ready to fly away. Functional gates that were also art, metalwork that celebrated nature. The botanical garden director told Daniel, "These gates transform the entrance. They're not just barrier, but invitation, welcoming people into natural beauty through beautiful metalwork. You've created something special that will serve the garden for generations." The gates won several craft awards, were featured in metalworking magazines, brought Daniel significant recognition. More commissions followed, larger, more ambitious projects that pushed his skills and creativity. But Daniel was careful not to lose connection with basic work. He still made kitchen knives, still taught beginner workshops, still practiced fundamental techniques. He remembered Thomas's teaching. Mastery required maintaining foundation even as you explored advanced work.
He also deepened his theoretical understanding. He studied metallurgy, the science of steel composition, crystal structure, heat treatment effects. Understanding the why behind techniques made him a better craftsperson. He researched historical blacksmithing, looking at work of medieval smiths, studying traditional tools and techniques, learning from masters across centuries. The more he understood the tradition, the better he could innovate within it. He began writing about his craft, articles for blacksmithing magazines, blog posts about techniques and tools, reflections on meaning and value of handwork. His writing found audience among craftspeople and people interested in meaningful work. One essay, "Why Hand-Forged Matters," articulated his understanding of craft's value in mass production age. He argued that handmade objects carried something machine-made ones couldn't: the attention, skill, and care of the maker embedded in the work. This quality was perceptible to users and valuable in ways beyond mere function. The essay resonated widely, was shared across social media, brought him new customers and students. People hungered for articulation of why craft mattered, why handmade objects were worth their higher cost, why supporting craftspeople served important values. Daniel also began exhibiting in galleries, not just craft shows. His sculptural metalwork was shown alongside fine art, recognized as artistic expression, not just functional craft. This elevation of status pleased him, but also felt beside the point. He didn't need art world validation. He was making work he believed in for people who valued it. That was enough. As he approached 50, Daniel reflected on his transformation. 10 years ago, he'd been a burned-out lawyer, miserable despite success. Now, he was established blacksmith, fulfilled despite simplicity. He had left security for meaning and found it absolutely worth it. People sometimes asked if he missed law, if he regretted leaving lucrative career. His answer was always the same. I miss nothing about law. I regret only that I didn't discover blacksmithing sooner. These past 10 years of forging have been the richest of my life.
In his 50s, Daniel increasingly focused on teaching. He still made custom work, knives and gates and sculptures, but teaching became central to his practice in new ways. He developed comprehensive blacksmithing programs, year-long intensives covering traditional techniques, modern applications, artistic development, business skills. The program accepted 12 students annually, provided deep education in all aspects of professional smithing. Applications came from around the country. Daniel selected carefully, seeking dedication, aptitude, diversity of background. He wanted students who would add different voices to blacksmithing, who would expand the field. His students varied widely. Recent graduates seeking trade skills, midlife career changers like he'd been, retired people pursuing long-deferred dreams, artists wanting to work with metal, all united by desire to learn this ancient craft. Teaching career changers particularly resonated with Daniel. He understood their fear of leaving stable work, their questioning whether they were too old, their struggle to justify pursuing a craft when practical concerns argued against it.
I was 45 when I started, he would tell them. I gave up law partnership to swing hammers. Seemed crazy. Best decision I ever made. Age brings focus and determination young people often lack. You know what you're sacrificing and why it's worth it. His encouragement gave many students courage to commit fully. They left careers to apprentice, to pursue blacksmithing seriously, to build lives around craft rather than just careers around money. One student, a former engineer named James, told Daniel, "Your example gave me permission to change. If you could leave law for blacksmithing, I could leave engineering for it. You showed transformation was possible and could lead to better life." James became an excellent blacksmith, eventually opened his own successful forge. Another student became teacher herself, spreading knowledge further. Each success multiplied Daniel's impact. Daniel also taught values alongside technique, respect for materials and tools, commitment to quality over quantity, generosity toward other smiths rather than competitive secrecy, environmental responsibility in workshop practices. These values shaped how students would practice throughout their careers. He taught business skills too, pricing work sustainably, marketing authentically, managing finances, dealing with customers, building reputation. Being a professional craftsperson requires business competence as much as technical skill, he emphasized. Many talented smiths fail because they don't develop the business side. His teaching attracted attention from craft education organizations. He was invited to teach at major schools, to lead workshops nationally, to speak at conferences about his approach to teaching blacksmithing. He also created educational materials, video series showing techniques in detail, books about his methods and philosophy, online courses for people unable to attend in person. These materials spread his teaching far beyond who he could instruct directly. One blacksmithing school adopted his curriculum as the foundation for their program. Hundreds of students learned his methods and approaches. Through that school alone, Daniel's influence touched thousands. He established scholarship fund supporting students who wanted to learn blacksmithing but lacked resources. He remembered how his savings from the law career had enabled his own transition. He wanted to help others who didn't have that advantage. The scholarship funded dozens of apprentices over the years. Many became successful blacksmiths, taught their own students, passed knowledge forward. Daniel's generosity multiplied through their work. As he approached 60, Daniel thought about legacy. He had created beautiful work that would endure, but his truest legacy was students, the blacksmiths he trained who were training others, the knowledge flowing forward through teaching chains. Thomas, his own teacher, now in his 90s and retired, told Daniel, "You've surpassed me as smith and as teacher. That's what every teacher hopes for. You took what I gave you, made it your own, and passed it forward. The lineage remains strong." Thomas's words meant everything. Daniel had received so much from him, not just technique, but vision of what blacksmithing could be, permission to pursue it, confidence that he could succeed. Passing that forward was sacred responsibility. In his 60s, Daniel continued smithing, but also spent more time reflecting on and writing about his practice. He worked on memoir, exploring his journey from law to blacksmithing, what he'd learned through decades of forging, how working with steel and fire had transformed his understanding of work and life. Forging Steel, Forging Self combined personal narrative with philosophy of craft. He wrote about the satisfaction of physical work, the meaning found through making useful things, the community among craftspeople, the sustainable alternative to corporate career. The book found audience beyond blacksmithing, people interested in meaningful work, in career change, in craft as spiritual practice. It became bestseller in its category, brought Daniel unexpected fame. Media wanted interviews. He appeared on podcasts discussing his career transformation. Magazines profiled him. Documentary filmmakers wanted to make film about his work and teaching. Daniel accepted some opportunities, declined others. He didn't want fame for itself, but he wanted to share the message that transformation was possible, that meaningful work existed outside corporate structures, that craft offered real alternative. His talks drew large audiences. People resonated with his story, successful lawyer who left it all to forge metal, who found fulfillment through honest physical work. His example gave them hope and practical model. One talk at a business conference was particularly impactful. The audience was corporate executives, many burned out like Daniel had been. He spoke honestly about his journey, the fear, the financial risk, the challenges, but also the profound satisfaction. "I make fraction of what I made as lawyer," he told them, "but I'm infinitely richer. I wake eager to work instead of dreading it. I create things people value rather than just moving money around. I'm part of a craft community rather than competitive hierarchy. That's real wealth." Several people in that audience eventually left corporate careers to pursue crafts. One became woodworker, another started pottery studio, a third learned stone masonry. Each credited Daniel's self-talk with catalyzing their change. This influence beyond blacksmithing pleased Daniel. He was helping people transform, showing them alternative paths existed, giving them courage to pursue meaning over money. This mattered as much as his metalwork. He also wrote for academic audiences, contributing to discussions about craft, about meaningful work, about alternatives to corporate capitalism. His essays appeared in journals on philosophy of work, on craft theory, on sustainable economics. Scholars found his perspective valuable. Practitioner who had left corporate world to pursue craft full-time, who had succeeded in building sustainable practice, who could articulate both the practical and philosophical dimensions of that transformation. One researcher studying successful career transitions interviewed Daniel extensively. "You represent significant pattern," she told him. "Midlife professionals leaving burnout careers to pursue craft. You weren't first, won't be last, but you're an exemplar. You've succeeded. You're generous about sharing your journey. You inspire others. Your influence multiplies."
The documentary about Daniel's life and work was released to critical acclaim. From contracts to anvils, the Daniel Grant story showed his transformation, his daily practice, his teaching, his philosophy. The film moved many viewers, inspired them toward their own transformations. Awards and recognition accumulated. Craft organizations honored him. Universities gave him honorary degrees. Museums acquired his work for permanent collections. But Daniel remained grounded, focused on the work itself rather than accolades. He still spent most days at forge, heating steel and shaping it. Still made custom knives and gates and sculptures. Still taught eager apprentices. The recognition was nice, but the work was what mattered. As he approached 70, Daniel began preparing for eventual retirement. Not stopping completely, he would forge until physically unable, but stepping back from public work, simplifying, focusing on what brought him joy. He closed his training program after 20 successful years, having taught hundreds of students. He reduced teaching to occasional special workshops. He made work only when inspired for people and projects he cared about. This simplification felt right. He had built career, trained smiths, contributed to field. Now he could simply be a craftsman, making what called to him, an elder sharing when asked, a human enjoying fruits of decades of meaningful work. In his mid-70s, Daniel created his final major works, not because he planned to stop completely, but because his body was telling him large projects were becoming too demanding. One final commission was particularly meaningful. Memorial Gate for cemetery, honoring lives of workers who had died in industrial accident. The gate needed to be dignified, hopeful, strong. Daniel spent months on it, forging elements that suggested both loss and continuation. Broken chains transforming into blooming branches, names forged into leaves. Overall design suggested ending, becoming new beginning. When installed, the memorial gate affected people deeply. Families of workers told Daniel, "This honors them perfectly. It acknowledges the tragedy while affirming life continues. You've given us something beautiful to remember them by."
Creating work that served people in grief and remembrance felt like highest use of his skill. Not just decorative, but meaningful. Not just beautiful, but serving emotional and spiritual needs. His final large sculpture was an abstract piece exploring transformation. Cold steel becoming hot, rigid becoming fluid, solid becoming form. The piece captured his 5 decades of experience with steel's transformability. A major museum acquired it for their contemporary craft collection. The curator wrote, "Daniel Grant's work represents peak achievement in contemporary blacksmithing. His technical mastery is impeccable, but more importantly, his work expresses deep understanding of material transformation that comes only from decades of dedicated practice." Daniel created smaller pieces too in his final years. Simple hooks and hardware, the basic forms he'd learned first, now executed with complete mastery. These humble objects pleased him as much as ambitious sculptures. He also made gifts for special people. Elaborate fireplace tools for Thomas, his first teacher. Custom knives for each of his closest apprentices. Hand-forged garden tools for Sarah, who now ran her own successful forge. These gifts were precious because made with love and gratitude, given without expectation of anything in return. They embodied Daniel's values of generosity and connection. His final forged piece was a small knife, paring blade with a simple wooden handle. Nothing fancy or ambitious, just honest work executed perfectly. He made it for himself, to remind himself that craft was ultimately about the doing, not the acclaim. He dated and signed it, placed it in his kitchen drawer where he could use it daily. Every time he used it, he would remember 50 years of forging, the transformation from lawyer to blacksmith, the life built around meaningful work. When Daniel died peacefully at 78, he died knowing he had lived well. He had found his calling and followed it completely. He had created beautiful, useful work. He had taught generously and passed knowledge forward. He had no regrets.
Daniel's memorial was held at a major craft museum where his retrospective had shown. His metalwork surrounded the gathering, gates and knives, sculptures and tools, pieces spanning 50 years of practice. Hundreds attended, students, fellow smiths, collectors, people whose lives he'd touched through work or teaching. They gathered among his creations to remember, to celebrate, to honor his contribution. Thomas, now 97 and frail, spoke about teaching Daniel. "He came to me 45, burned out from law, desperate for something real. I taught him technique, but he taught me that blacksmithing could save lives, could transform people, could offer real alternative to soul-crushing work. His transformation inspired many others." Sarah, his first apprentice, spoke about his teaching. Daniel didn't just teach blacksmithing, he taught approach to work and life, dedication, presence, honesty, generosity. Everyone he taught carries these values forward. His influence multiplies through us. James, the former engineer, shared his transformation story. "I was where Daniel had been, successful but empty. His example showed me a different path was possible. He proved you could build sustainable life around craft. I followed his path in my own way. Now I teach others, passing forward what he gave me." A museum curator spoke about legacy.
Daniel Grant's work will endure for centuries. Forged steel doesn't decay. His gates and sculptures will serve and beautify spaces long after we're all gone. But his truest legacy is teaching. The blacksmiths he trained who train others, knowledge flowing forward through generations. After formal remembrances, people examined his work closely, running hands over forged surfaces, testing knife edges, admiring sculptural forms. His pieces felt alive despite his death, strong and present and useful. His forge was preserved as a teaching space. A foundation maintained it, kept his tools available, allowed blacksmiths to work there. Students working in Daniel's forge felt his presence, learned from the space he'd inhabited for decades. His books remained in print, continued inspiring people toward craft and transformation. His documentary played regularly on educational programming. His influence continued spreading through multiple channels.
The blacksmithing community he'd strengthened through teaching and generosity continued thriving. New smiths emerged, learned the craft, developed their own voices. Teachers taught his methods. The tradition flowed forward. 20 years after Daniel's death, a man named Marcus stood at his corporate desk, miserable despite success, desperate for something more meaningful. He discovered Daniel's memoir, read it in one sitting, felt his story resonating powerfully. Marcus was 43, investment banker, burned out and empty. Daniel had been lawyer at 45. If Daniel could change, could Marcus? Marcus took beginner blacksmithing class, working with steel for first time, heating it and shaping it. He felt something awaken. This directness, this physicality, this making, it was what he'd been missing. 6 months later, Marcus gave notice at his bank. He apprenticed with a blacksmith trained in Daniel's lineage. He committed fully to learning the craft. He was following Daniel's path in his own way. The pattern repeated across decades. Someone burned out from conventional career discovered Daniel's story. Inspired, they tried blacksmithing. Moved by the experience, they committed seriously. Their lives transformed through dedication to craft. Each was individual with unique journey, but all connected to Daniel, inspired by his example, encouraged by his teaching, direct or through students, supported by community he'd helped build. The lineage flowed forward. Thomas taught Daniel. Daniel taught Sarah and James and hundreds of others. They taught their students. Marcus learned from one of those students. Knowledge transmitted through unbroken chains. And in forges everywhere, blacksmiths worked. They heated steel to a glowing orange. They struck it with hammers, shaping it through force and skill. They created useful, beautiful things from metal and fire. Each strike continued ancient practice, each piece linked to tradition stretching back millennia. Each blacksmith added their voice to ongoing song of transformation. Daniel's hammer strikes echoed in their work. His teaching resonated in their practice. His example inspired their dedication. He was gone but present, dead but alive in steel and students and tradition flowing forward. The forge burns on.
each blacksmith heating their own steel, each piece carrying forward craft and tradition, each student discovering transformative power of making real things with fire and hammer. Daniel's path, the blacksmith's forge, continues calling to anyone feeling lost, to anyone seeking meaning, to anyone ready to transform through honest physical work. The anvil rings, the steel glows, the hammer shapes, the teaching flows, forever forging, eternally transforming, always creating. Sleep now, dear listener. Let Daniel's story wrap around you like warm, forged steel. Know that transformation calls, that meaningful work exists, that your own strength can shape beauty. Rest in the forge's glow. Dream of steel and fire, of hammers and anvils, of lives transformed through courage and physical work. All is well. The forge burns eternal. The steel waits. The work continues. Forever forging, eternally strong, always useful. Sweet dreams.
In his 60s, Daniel began articulating the deeper wisdom blacksmithing had taught him. Not just technical knowledge, but life philosophy, understanding gained through decades of working with steel and fire. He wrote extensively about transformation. Steel teaches that real change requires heat and force, he explained. You can't reshape steel when it's cold, it breaks. Heat it properly and it becomes workable. Apply force skillfully and it transforms. Same with humans. Comfortable situations rarely transform us. We need heat, challenge, difficulty, pressure to become workable. Then we need force, effort, practice, dedication to reshape ourselves. This metaphor resonated with many readers. People saw their own transformations reflected in steel's transformation. Leaving careers, pursuing dreams, rebuilding lives, all required getting hot, uncomfortable, scared, uncertain, and applying force, working hard, persisting despite difficulty, maintaining effort. Daniel also wrote about tempering. After steel is hardened, it's too brittle. It will shatter under stress. You have to temper it, heating it carefully to reduce brittleness while maintaining strength. Perfectly tempered steel is strong but not brittle, flexible but not soft. People are the same. Pure hardness makes us brittle, breaks us under stress. We need tempering, gentleness, rest, balance to maintain strength without brittleness. These philosophical reflections elevated Daniel's teaching beyond mere craft instruction. He was sharing wisdom about living well, working meaningfully, maintaining balance, developing strength without losing flexibility. Universities invited him to speak not just in art departments, but in philosophy and psychology programs. His insights about transformation, about meaningful work, about craft as spiritual practice interested scholars studying human flourishing. One psychologist studying successful midlife transitions told Daniel, "Your writing articulates something important about human development. Midlife often brings crisis because people realize the life they built doesn't fit who they've become.
Successful navigation requires transformation, getting hot, applying force, tempering result. You provide both example and explanation. Daniel also reflected on the value of resistance. Steel resists the hammer. That resistance is essential. Without it, steel wouldn't hold shape. The hammer and steel work together through that resistance. I've learned to value resistance in life too. When something pushes back, when work is hard, when progress is slow, that's not failure, but essential part of process. Resistance shapes us. This perspective helped people stay with difficult transformations. When career change got hard, when new skills came slowly, when doubt arose, they could remember that resistance was normal, valuable, part of forging process. His teaching about patience also resonated widely. You can't rush steel. Heat it too fast and you burn it. Cool it too fast and it cracks. Everything has its proper pace. I learned to work at steel's pace, not mine. That taught me to respect natural timing in all things. Some transformations take years. Some skills require decades to master. Impatience ruins work. Patience allows excellence. In an age of instant gratification and rapid results, this message about patient dedication was countercultural and valuable. People needed permission to take time, to develop slowly, to master thoroughly, rather than rushing to completion. Daniel's wisdom teachings weren't abstract philosophy. They emerged from concrete experience of forging thousands of pieces over decades. Every insight had been learned through burnt steel and failed pieces, through patient practice and gradual mastery. This grounding in practice made his wisdom trustworthy. He wasn't theorizing, but sharing embodied knowledge, wisdom earned through years of making mistakes and learning from them. As Daniel's influence grew through teaching and writing, he became elder statesman of blacksmithing community. Young smiths sought his advice. Organizations asked him to lead. His opinion carried weight. But Daniel used his influence carefully. He didn't try to control or direct the blacksmithing community. He supported, encouraged, connected people, shared resources. He worked to make blacksmithing more accessible and inclusive. He advocated for more diverse representation in blacksmithing. Historically, blacksmithing had been male-dominated. Daniel actively recruited and supported women smiths, people of color, LGBTQ+ smiths, anyone who wanted to learn, regardless of background. Craft should be open to everyone, he argued. Traditional exclusions hurt the craft by limiting perspectives and voices. We're stronger when diverse people bring their unique visions to metalwork. He used his prominence to platform marginalized smiths, highlighting their work, creating opportunities, mentoring generously. Several smiths who might have struggled to break into the field succeeded with his support. One woman blacksmith told Daniel, "Your advocacy made real difference for me. As a woman in a male-dominated craft, I faced skepticism and exclusion. Your support, recommending me for commissions, featuring my work, treating me as an equal colleague, helped me establish credibility. Now I mentor other women entering the field." Daniel also worked to make blacksmithing environmentally sustainable. Traditional forging used coal, which was dirty and contributed to climate change. He promoted cleaner alternatives, propane forges, electric induction heating, reclaimed materials. We can honor tradition while adapting to present needs, he argued. Blacksmithing has always evolved. Using cleaner energy doesn't betray craft, it ensures craft has a future. He established a network of blacksmiths committed to sustainable practices. They shared techniques for reducing waste, using recycled steel, minimizing environmental impact. Together, they showed the craft could be environmentally responsible. Community building was central to Daniel's later work. He organized regional gatherings where smiths could meet, share techniques, support each other. These gatherings built relationships and reduced isolation many independent craftspeople felt. He also created an online community for blacksmiths worldwide, a forum where people could ask questions, share work, discuss challenges. Thousands of members supported each other, creating a global community around local craft. We're stronger together, Daniel emphasized. Craft thrives through community, through mutual support and shared knowledge. Competition and secrecy weaken everyone. Generosity and collaboration strengthen the whole field. His approach fostered a generous, collaborative culture in blacksmithing. Smiths helped each other rather than hoarding knowledge. Established craftspeople supported emerging ones. Community became a defining characteristic of contemporary blacksmithing.
As Daniel entered his late 70s, he focused final teaching efforts on training master teachers, experienced blacksmiths who would teach others professionally. He developed intensive programs specifically for this purpose. Field needs excellent teachers more than excellent smiths, he explained. One great teacher trains dozens of good smiths. Those smiths train others. Teaching multiplies impact exponentially. His teacher training program taught not just blacksmithing, but pedagogy, curriculum design, student assessment, creating inclusive learning environments, building sustainable teaching practices. Graduates of this program established schools across country. They taught hundreds of students annually. Through them, Daniel's influence reached thousands he could never teach directly. One graduate established major blacksmithing school in a region with no previous access to craft education. Hundreds of students learned there, many becoming professional smiths. One teacher, one school, hundreds of craftspeople, the multiplication effect Daniel valued. His final major writing project was a comprehensive guide to teaching blacksmithing. Forging Teachers, a guide to blacksmithing education, synthesized decades of teaching experience into a practical resource for instructors. The book covered everything: setting up a teaching forge safely, designing effective curriculum, working with different learning styles, assessing student progress, managing workshop dynamics, supporting students through challenges. Every blacksmithing teacher read it. Many programs adopted it as a foundational text. It became standard reference for craft education, influencing teaching far beyond blacksmithing. Daniel also created extensive video archive of techniques and projects. Hundreds of hours of detailed instruction, filmed professionally, available freely online. Future generations would learn from these videos long after Daniel was gone. He wanted to preserve knowledge that was often transmitted only orally.
master smiths died with their knowledge because they never documented it. Daniel ensured his knowledge would remain accessible indefinitely. These final teaching efforts were Daniel's ultimate gift to the craft he loved. Not just his own work, but his knowledge, his understanding, his wisdom about making and teaching and building sustainable practice. When Daniel died, he died knowing he had passed everything forward. No knowledge hoarded, no wisdom withheld, everything shared freely for the benefit of craft and craftspeople. This generosity defined his legacy, not hoarding, but giving, not competing, but collaborating, not excluding, but welcoming. These values shaped blacksmithing culture for generations. 20 years after Daniel's death, his forge still operated as teaching space. Blacksmiths worked there daily, using tools he'd used, heating steel in forge he'd tended, practicing craft he'd dedicated 50 years to mastering. The space felt alive with his presence, not supernatural, but real. The care and attention he'd brought to work, preserved in the space itself, transmitted to those who worked there attentively. Students working in Daniel's forge reported working more carefully, more thoughtfully. Something about this space makes me slow down, pay attention, work from presence rather than hurry, one said. I think it's Daniel's energy still here. His books remained essential reading. New editions kept them current. Students across generations learned from his wisdom. His philosophy of transformation through heat and force continued resonating, helping people navigate their own changes. The documentary about his life still inspired people. Every month, someone watched it and thought, maybe I could change too. Maybe there's a different path available to me. Some became blacksmiths, others pursued different crafts. All carried his message that transformation was possible. Museums holding his work reported unusual visitor engagement. People spent long periods with his pieces, obviously moved. Guards noticed people touching the forged steel gently, as if receiving a blessing through the metal. His work affects people deeply, one curator noted. They're not just looking at beautiful metalwork, they're encountering presence, dedication, love of craft embodied in steel. It teaches without words. The blacksmithing community he'd helped build continued thriving. More smiths than ever, more schools teaching the craft, more public appreciation for hand-forged work. Daniel's advocacy and teaching had contributed significantly to this renaissance. Professional organizations established awards in his name. The Daniel Grant Fellowship supported emerging blacksmiths. The Grant Prize honored excellence in teaching. These awards perpetuated his values and influence. And always, somewhere, someone was discovering blacksmithing for first time, watching Smith work and feeling wonder, taking first class and feeling satisfaction of shaping steel, creating first piece and feeling pride of making something real. For some, it would be passing interest. For others, serious hobby. For few, a calling and career. Those few would follow where Daniel walked, from conventional work to craft, from emptiness to meaning, from success by others' measures to fulfillment by their own. The anvil rings eternal, the forge burns forever, the hammer shapes endlessly, the teaching flows continuously. Daniel forged steel for 50 years, but his truest forging was forging himself, transforming from who he thought he should be into who he really was. That transformation, that example, that possibility, these endure beyond any steel object. Sleep deeply, dear listener. Let Daniel's story strengthen you like tempered steel. Know that you too can transform, can find meaningful work, can forge your life into beauty. Rest in the forge's warmth. Dream of glowing steel and ringing hammers, of strength and transformation, of lives forged into meaning through courage and dedication. All is well. The forge burns eternal. The steel awaits your hammer. The transformation calls your courage. Forever forging, eternally strong, always transforming. The blacksmith's blessing upon you. May your heat be true. May your hammer strike well. May your steel hold shape. May your work endure. Amen and blessed be. Sleep.
Close your eyes. Breathe slowly. Imagine yourself standing before a glowing forge. Orange coals radiate heat. Steel rests in fire, gradually changing color from black to red to orange to yellow-white. You watch this transformation, patient, waiting for perfect moment. You grasp tongs, lift steel from fire. It glows brilliant orange, alive with heat. You move to anvil, ancient tool scarred from generations of hammer strikes. You raise hammer, bring it down, ring. Steel yields slightly. Again, ring. Rhythm develops. Ring, ring, ring. The anvil sings its timeless song. With each strike, steel changes shape. What was straight becomes curved. What was thick becomes thin. What was formless takes form. You are transforming material through heat and force and patient, skilled effort. This is blacksmithing. This is also living. Heat and force transform everything. Steel teaches us how. Feel the rhythm, in and out, strike and pause, heat and shape, work and rest. All of life moves in rhythms. Respect them, work with them, they will serve you. Feel the presence required. You cannot forge while distracted. Full attention or you burn yourself, strike poorly, ruin work. Forging demands you be here, now, completely. This is meditation. This is prayer. This is practice. Feel the satisfaction, creating something real with your hands, useful tool or beautiful object emerging from your effort. This satisfies in ways abstract work never can. This is what humans need to make, to shape, to create. The hammer rises, the hammer falls, the steel transforms, you transform with it. Breathe in, gather strength. Breathe out, strike true. Breathe in, heat to temperature. Breathe out, shape with force. Continue breathing, continue striking, continue transforming. This is the way of steel. This is the blacksmith's path. This is how lives are forged into meaning. All is rhythm, all is heat,
All is transformation. All is well. Sleep now in the forge's warmth. Dream of glowing steel. Wake, ready to forge your life into beauty. The blacksmith blesses you. The steel holds you. The fire warms you. The hammer shapes you. Forever forging, eternally strong, always transforming, now and always. Amen. Sleep.
Every blacksmith is link in unbroken chain stretching back millennia. Daniel joined this chain. He learned from Thomas, who learned from his master. Knowledge flows backward through generations, forward through students. His students now teach their students. Knowledge multiplies. The chain remains unbroken. The forge burns on. In workshops worldwide, hammers ring on anvils. May you find heat that makes you workable. May you receive force that shapes you. May you develop strength without brittleness. May you transform through patient effort. May you forge yourself into who you're meant to be. The anvil waits. The hammer is ready. The steel wants to transform. Begin now. The blacksmith's path is yours. The forge burns for you. Strike, create, transform, forever forging. Sweet dreams. Daniel's journey from corporate lawyer to master blacksmith represents fundamental human need. The need for work that engages whole person, body and mind united in meaningful creation. Modern corporate work often splits these. Mind works while body sits passive. Craft reunites them. Every hammer blow requires physical strength and mental precision together. This integration heals. People report feeling more whole, more themselves when engaged in craft. Daniel certainly experienced this. Years of law practice had fragmented him. His mind worked, but his body atrophied. His skills developed, but his soul starved. Blacksmithing reunited body and soul, skill and meaning, work and identity. The physical demands of forging transformed Daniel's relationship with his body. No longer just vehicle for transporting mind to office, his body became essential tool for creation. His strength mattered. His coordination mattered. His endurance mattered. This reconnection with physical capability rebuilt confidence and sense of wholeness. The heat of the forge became meditation space for Daniel. Standing before glowing coals, watching steel transform, he entered state of presence rarely achieved in office work. The forge demanded full attention. Distraction led to burns and failed pieces. This enforced presence was gift, teaching Daniel how to be fully here, fully now. Steel taught patience. You cannot rush heat treatment. You cannot force steel beyond its capacity. You must work at steel's pace, respecting its properties. This patience transferred to Daniel's life. He became less rushed, more accepting of natural timing, more willing to let things develop at their proper pace. The rhythm of hammer on anvil became heartbeat of Daniel's practice. Ring, 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 steady, consistent, hypnotic.
This rhythm carried him through long hours of work, through difficult pieces, through challenges and setbacks. He learned to trust the rhythm, to let it carry him, to work within its flow rather than fighting it. Failure became teacher in blacksmithing. Every smith makes countless failed pieces. Steel cracks, heat treatment goes wrong, forms don't work. Daniel learned to welcome failure as information, as teaching about what doesn't work, so he could discover what does. This transformed his relationship with mistakes from shame to curiosity. Community among blacksmiths surprised Daniel. Unlike competitive law environment, smiths generally supported each other. They shared techniques, recommended each other for commissions, helped each other troubleshoot problems. This generosity created sustainable community where everyone could thrive, rather than cutthroat competition where few succeeded at others' expense. Teaching became sacred responsibility for Daniel. He had been given so much knowledge by Thomas and others. Passing it forward felt like repaying debt and honoring lineage simultaneously. Each student he trained continued the chain, ensuring knowledge wouldn't die with him, but would flow forward through generations. The transformation blacksmithing worked in Daniel's life was total. Not just career change, but identity shift, value reorientation, complete reimagining of what constituted successful life. He had measured success by salary and status. Now he measured it by quality of work, depth of engagement, meaningfulness of contribution. This new measurement freed Daniel. He would never be wealthy by conventional standards, but he was rich in satisfaction, in purpose, in community, in doing work aligned with his values. This richness surpassed any amount of money. Daniel's story shows that transformation is possible at any age. 45 is not too late. 50 is not too late. 60 is not too late. As long as you have life, you have possibility of changing it. The obstacles are real: financial constraints, fear of failure, social pressure, inertia, but they're surmountable with courage and commitment. The key is finding work that truly calls you, not work you think you should do, or work that pays well, or work that impresses others. Work that engages you completely, that you would do even without payment, that feels necessary and right. For Daniel, this was blacksmithing. For you, it might be different, but the principle holds: find what calls and follow it. Following a calling requires sacrifice. Daniel gave up salary, status, security, but what he gained far exceeded what he lost. He gained engagement, meaning, satisfaction, authenticity. These aren't abstract goods. They're fundamental to human flourishing. Without them, no amount of money or status compensates. The blacksmith's forge is really a metaphor for any practice pursued with dedication. You could apply Daniel's lessons to woodworking, pottery, gardening, cooking, healing, any work done with care and presence. The specific craft matters less than the quality of engagement.
What made Daniel's practice meaningful wasn't blacksmithing specifically, but how he approached it. With full presence, patient dedication, commitment to quality, generous sharing, respect for tradition while innovating within it. These qualities make any practice meaningful. Modern world needs more people like Daniel, people who choose meaning over money, who create rather than just consume, who work with hands and hearts together, who build community through generous collaboration, who teach freely and pass knowledge forward. Each person who makes this choice strengthens possibility for others. Each transformation proves transformation is possible. Each craftsperson living sustainably shows craft careers exist. Daniel's example has enabled dozens of similar transformations. Those people will enable dozens more. The influence multiplies. This is how culture changes, not through grand movements, but through individual choices that ripple outward. Daniel chose craft over corporate career. His choice inspired others. Their choices inspire others. Slowly, steadily, alternative paths become more visible, more viable, more traveled. The forge burns on. The hammer rings eternal. The steel transforms endlessly, and humans continue discovering through these ancient practices something essential about meaningful work, about engaged living, about building life around values rather than just money. Daniel forged steel for 50 years. More importantly, he forged himself into who he was meant to be. He forged path that others could follow. He forged community that supports transformation. He forged a legacy that endures beyond any steel object. His hammer is silent now, but its echo rings in every workshop where smiths continue the practice. Its rhythm pulses in hearts of career changers considering their own transformations. Its teaching reverberates through all who choose craft over commerce, meaning over money, authentic work over conventional success. The blacksmith's forge glows eternal. The transformation it offers is always available. The path it illuminates is always open. The work it calls us to is always waiting. Strike the steel, shape the form, create the beauty, forge the life, make the meaning. Now and always and forever. The anvil waits, the forge burns, the hammer is ready. Your transformation begins with single strike. Will you make it? Sweet dreams, dear blacksmith of your own life. May you forge yourself well. Amen.